the questions that we will ask. Give a big hand to our guest who's joined us, Mehbooba Mufti. She's not the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, but many believe she is still the most powerful person in Jammu and Kashmir. Let me start with that right at the very outset. Is this actually a change in season in Jammu and Kashmir? That in the month of March there's snow and the PDP has tied up with the BJP? Or is this simply a shotgun marriage? Ki kuch dino ke liye kar lo, because most analysts are saying this will last at best for a year. And you're supposed to be in power for 6 years. Will this last fortnight, 1 month, 1 year or 6 years?
Well, Rajdeep, I would not like to call it a marriage because we have seen many marriages since 1947 till now. Marriage is something that takes place between two individuals or at times between two families. We have seen it happening from 1947 till now. And in a marriage, you know, it is the personal thing. You want to enjoy something. You want to enjoy the power. But as far as PDP is concerned, when we, you know, entered into alliance, जब हमने कांग्रेस के साथ 2002 में alliance किया, उस वक्त भी we took 1 month. Because at that point of time also we wanted to enter into a partnership wherein we can get something for the people of Jammu and Kashmir. You know, that's why हमारा common minimum program बना, जिसमें, you know, हमने ये कहा कि जम्मू कश्मीर में reconciliation कैसा होगा, how do you address the Kashmir problem, how do you reconcile with the internal as well as the external dimension, as the Pakistani factor was there, release of prisoners like Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani, Yasin Malik, Shabir Shah, it was there, you know. So we started on a very positive note, and fortunately at that point of time, we had NDA government headed by Vajpayee ji. That point of time, they had apprehensions because that policy which Mufti Sahab adopted, which was later on known as healing touch policy, crackdowns khatam kar diye, pota khatam kiya, logon ko sakhti karna band kar diya, prisoners ko jailon se nikal diya against. To usse yahan thoda apprehension tha Delhi mein. But once Vajpayee ji saw the transformation on the ground, because when he visited in Kashmir, for the first time, after Indira ji, during the normal times, you know, when a Prime Minister of a country visited Kashmir, there were no black flags. There was no shutdown. But there were thousands of people who came and received him. And then he said, you know, हम पाकिस्तान के साथ दोस्ती करेंगे, जम्मू कश्मीर की समस्या का समाधान इंसानियत के दायरे में करें, which had a, you know, I can't say what kind of an impact it had on the situation. And then I recall Vajpayee ji saying on his way back to Delhi that healing touch policy adopted by Mufti Sahab is the only policy, and that very same policy was endorsed by Sonia ji when there was transfer of power to, you know.
Ma'am.
No, I'm just.
I'm going to let you, but I will let you, you know, complete that. But it's interesting. I'm asking you about 2015, and you're taking me back to 2002. I'm asking you about a relationship with Narendra Modi, and you're reminding me of Atal Bihari Vajpayee.
I need to do that because, you know, the same Congress who are raising hue and cry today, they have forgotten them when they were in alliance with us. At that point of time, our common minimum program was as it is with the BJP almost. Maybe there are certain more things. And maybe at this point of time, there is a Prime Minister who has more authority at the center and who will be able to deliver much more. We have that expectation. That's what I say that, you know, it has always been for PDP, it has been the welfare of the people. That's why, you know, we were able, even after our government ended in J&K, PDP and Congress, people got the benefits of that government. Muzaffarabad Road opened, Rawalakot Road opened, Pota was done away. You know, situation improved. There was more, you know, restoration of democratic institution in the state, and people even today recall that period as a golden period. So even today, when we have entered into alliance with BJP, our goal is the same, that we want to have a, you know, partnership where the people of Jammu and Kashmir are put first, whether Jammu, Kashmir, Ladakh. It's not about us. We may not last. We may last. But the thing is, if we last, what is it that is the people of Jammu and Kashmir are going to gain? Are they going to gain something, or it is just about the survival? Because, you know...
So are you asking that Narendra Modi take a cue from Atal Bihari Vajpayee? Just as Vajpayee ji spoke famously in that speech, that the solution to Kashmir should be within the daira of insaniyat. Insaniyat ke daire mein solution hona chahiye, within the limits of humanity. Is that what you're saying that Mr. Modi should do? Is that what you're hoping? Can Modi be a Vajpayee?
Well, to be very honest with you, I think, I need to acknowledge, here that BJP has, walked quite a distance to meet the political aspirations, developmental and welfare of people in Jammu and Kashmir once when we, wrote down this common minimum program, the agenda for alliance. So I would say that they have already started on the path because, the political points in our agenda for alliance starts with this that, the special status of Jammu and Kashmir is to be maintained. And it is not something that, you could have changed, but I would like to say before any person from the opposition is here and going to get after BJP that it was Congress who said in 96, I think, when 95 or 96, when Narasimha was the Prime Minister, he said, sky is the limit as far as granting autonomy to Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. Now they keep on telling BJP, oh, you were against 370. Why you have said that it's going to be maintained? So I request all the political parties of our country, please, when it comes to Jammu and Kashmir, we are trying to change the mindsets, both within Jammu and Kashmir and within the rest of the country. Please help us in doing that.
So you're willing to give Mr. Modi the benefit of the doubt because on November 25th, 2014, when I was there during the election, you said in an interview, no, we want no truck with the BJP. Their agenda is very divisive. They want to pit Gujars against Pandits, Jammu against Kashmir, Muslim Kashmir versus Hindu India. It's dangerous and scary. We will come to power on our own. If you polarize Kashmir, you will again create alienation. That was November. We are now in March. I just want to know whether you believe that today you're willing to change your view or give the BJP the benefit of the doubt as a result of this common minimum program.
No, I don't think it's about changing anybody's views. It's about the mandate. Because I think, the greatest failure of our nation towards Jammu and Kashmir has been the democratic institutions have not been allowed to function there as they function in the other parts of the country. This election threw a mandate, wherein PDP got the mandate in Valley and BJP got in Jammu. So I think there was a message from the people that, this is the mandate, it's up to you whether you respect it or... See, PDP had two choices. Besides BJP, we could go with NC, we could go with Congress, we were getting unconditional support, and BJP had one more choice, I don't need to tell you. Besides us, they could go with, the other party. But we chose, after a lot of thinking, because we feel that if we have to change the mindset of rest of the country vis-a-vis Jammu and Kashmir and also bring around a change in the mindset of the people living mostly, I would say the valley and around, then we two parties need to enter into a partnership and have a common minimum program wherein we can build an atmosphere of reconciliation because if there is no peace, there is no development.
What is this common minimum program that you keep talking? I want to know what is the common minimum program must be based on trust, effectively. Yes. Now, we've seen in the past fortnight, you release Masrat Alam, BJP gets angry or incensed, particularly the Jammu BJP. Mufti Saab says that credit for peaceful election should go to the Hurriyat and to Pakistan. The BJP gets upset. You say that the mortal remains of Afzal Guru should be brought back and given to the family. The BJP gets angry. I want to know what is this common minimum program. Common minimum program must be based on trust deficit. If every action of yours is going to lead to some kind of uproar, controversy, how will this common minimum program work? What is this common minimum program?
Well, Rashdeep, this is the reality. That's why I say this is a partnership between two different mindsets. It's not about Mufti Saab and Modi ji or PDP and BJP. It's about Jammu Kashmir. What people think there and what people think the rest of the country. That I'm so happy because there have been marriages of convenience where the couples kept things aside because they wanted to enjoy power. They were on honeymoon all the time. That's why I chose it to call it a partnership rather than, marriage. Because here we want the reality. I mean, how many people here know that Jammu Kashmir has a flag? which is there all the time for last 50 years. It has been there all the time on the Secretariat, along with our national flag. I don't think many people know about it. It seems, as if Mufti Saab came to power and he got this flag, the Kashmir flag, out of some box and put it there. So I think these are the contradictions which are coming into open, and it's very good that country is at least getting educated, that Kashmir has a separate constitution, Kashmir has a separate flag, but at the same time, sovereignty of the country rules supreme. It is not as if, the Kashmir is trying to, or we are trying to undo something.
Does that worry you though, ma'am? That there is this Hindu, what you said, mindset problem. There's a Hindu mindset in Jammu.
No, not Hindu mindset.
And a Muslim mindset in the valley. Does that worry you at the moment?
It is not about Hindu and Muslim. It is about the mindset, that has been created over the years within the country, and the mindset that has been kind of, you can say, facilitated. Because country, India is, it's the greatest democracy in the world. And we have some great institutions like Supreme Court. But why should the jurisdiction of Supreme Court be, applied selectively to Kashmir? If you have to hang Afzal Guru, you pick him up from 28 number and you say, it is the Supreme Court order. But if the same Supreme Court says that you can't hold Masrat Alam again and again without substantiating charges against him, nobody gives a thought, why are we subverting our own Supreme Court when it comes to Kashmir? Because we have been subverting our own democratic process when it came to Kashmir. Hats off to Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who had to announce from Red Fort that in 2002 there is going to be a free and fair election in Kashmir, and you see the change.
Does it worry you though that you released a Masrat Alam, automatically, immediately there's a hashtag, Mufti Muhammad Saeed pro-Pak PM. Does it worry you that people outside Kashmir still don't realize the reality of what is happening on the ground, that they are still caught in their own frozen mindsets? That the moment you release Masrat Alam, who, as you said, for 20 years has been in and out of detention 8 times without proper charges being framed, and television anchors will call him a pro-Pak PM, does that make it even more difficult for you to govern Kashmir?
See, what is my worry is that we should not, God forbid, create a situation like 2010 where 120 people were killed, and at that point of time when the Cabinet Committee on Security met, they gave a report that whatever happened in Jammu Kashmir was because of the misgovernance, governance deficit and mishandling of the state government, and Masrat Alam-like people were created. So my priority is that we don't create that kind of situation where if you can, jail one Masrat Alam. But if you do what happened in 2010, you will have hundreds of Masrat Alam, moving on the roads of Jammu and Kashmir. And again...
But you released Gilani Saab and Yasin Malik in 2002. Yes. Has anything changed on the ground? You release Masrat Alam, he comes out of jail and still advocates the same Azadi separatist mindset. My point... Do you really believe this will provide a healing touch? Releasing a Masrat Alam? In your manifesto, you said political prisoners must be released. They include young 18-year-old stone throwers. Do you believe they should be released? Well, or are you now scared?
No.
How can I do any of this because I have a partnership?
The only thing that scares me is that, God forbid, nothing like, a student is going for a tuition, or Tufail Mattu is going to play cricket and then there is a fire, he gets killed. Then another one falls prey. I'm scared of that kind of situation. I'm not scared because there is, some people were shouting in Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha, oh, Mufti is going to release 10,000 prisoners. Do you know how many people are really in Kashmir under Public Safety Act? It's 16. Out of them, 2 stone pelters, 6, these timber smugglers, 2 criminals, 1 separatist leader. But the whole country, there are 10,000 people.
Will you release those 2 stone throwers now, or are you scared after Masrat Alam to release anything?
See,
because Mr. Balbir Punj of the BJP may suddenly scream, or Dinesh Trivedi will scream that we have a pro-Pakistan
Well, Rajdeep, as I said earlier also...
Are you worried now?
We are here for reconciliation. We are here to do things for the benefit of Jammu and Kashmir. And if we cannot do it, it's better to go and pack our bags and sit at home.
No, but the release of Masrat Alam, do you believe it's a process of reconciliation? Because the Prime Minister said, I was not informed The Home Minister says that the entire action should be reviewed. So I'm wondering how this partnership is going to work. Are you worried about this reaction? Are you have any regrets?
I wish, you know, when Masrat Alam was released and people should have been debating, you know, how the Supreme Court of India has evolved to the extent that there is a state government which has been all the time without being able to substantiate charges against a person, putting him behind the bars. And it is the strength of this country that there is a Supreme Court which has, you know, given a judgment entirely to different what the security mindset we have in the country vis-a-vis Kashmir. That should have been the debate. And if Masrat Alam would not acknowledge it publicly, but I'm sure in the heart of his heart, or the people around him would have been talking, oh God, this is the Indian Supreme Court that has released him.
No regrets.
But we try to subvert even our own Supreme Court when it comes to Kashmir. How can we do that?
So no regrets. No regrets.
Because we have not done anything wrong.
No regrets. You have done nothing wrong.
No, nothing wrong. Because upholding the directives of Supreme Court, if that is wrong, then what do we do? Then tell us that, you know, the Supreme Court does not apply to Jammu and Kashmir. Let's know that. Let's know that.
You know, I'm going to open this up to the audience in a little while, but there's one question that a friend of mine, when I told him I'm going to interview you today, said, please ask Mehbooba, does her healing touch also include the Kashmiri Pandit? This was said by a Pandit friend of mine. And he gave a specific example that of an individual who is walking free even though he is blamed for one of the worst massacres in your state. And not a single person involved in the massacre of the Kashmiri Pandits has been convicted. So while we can look at Masrat Alam at one end, there's also the Kashmiri Pandits who feel that you have not done enough to ensure that those who should be convicted for that massacre have not been touched. Do you want to tell me whether you'll do anything?
See, first of all, I said I'm not here to defend Masrat Alam.
Forget Masrat Alam.
No, because you said something. I told you earlier also, when in 2010, 120 people were killed, the highest forum of the cabinet ministry met in Delhi, and they came up with a report that it was the governance deficit, mishandling by the Congress and NC government, which led to the killing of 120 people. Please go to the records. So now it suits them to say Masrat Alam is a product of that agitation. I am sure, if God forbid, we do what was done in 2010, there will be many more Masrat Alams, and I don't know if there can be so much panic with one Masrat Alam, who unfortunately has a very long overflowing, beard, who has never, used gun or grenade or anything. Yes, he was involved in the
Do you believe that the rest of the country, you make a good point, do you believe the rest of the country, the moment today they see a Kashmiri Muslim with a beard, and one of your leaders told me this, the moment the rest of the country today sees a Kashmiri with a beard, they think he is Mahmud of Ghazni. This is the level to which this country has stereotyped the Kashmiri Muslim. Do you believe there is that danger?
It's not only about our country. Look, many of our Sikh brothers have been, even attacked in America. Everywhere. And unfortunately...
Do you believe there's discrimination against the Kashmiri Muslim outside Kashmir?
It is not only outside. It is the way some of the people who call them Muslims, some of the groups who are involved in terrorism, that has, kind of put us, every one of us, in a spot. And I'm ashamed of that. I'm ashamed of what ISIS is doing. I'm ashamed of, how, these people, these Bayaman, Buddha, those where idols were destroyed by Al-Qaeda. I'm ashamed of, those people calling themselves Muslims. But the thing is that we have to be at the
Are you ashamed of those who use the gun to try and settle the Kashmiri issue?
See,
are you ashamed of those who try and kill innocent people? I come back to
everybody. I condemn everybody. I condemn if there are fake encounters. I condemn when militants kill people in the name of, resolution of Kashmir. Gun is not going to solve our problem. It is going to be dialogue, it's going to be peace, it's going to be reconciliation, which we had started when the roads between the two Kashmirs were open. When we had released all these prisoners, they were out. There was no agitation during Mufti Saab's time. There was no stone pelting during Mufti Saab's time.
Can I just ask you? You didn't answer my Kashmiri Pandit question. I've got the name. I've got the name of the individual.
No, Rajdeep.
1 minute. Bitta Karate.